Hey guys, what's up? So Google did something weird last year by launching the Pixel 5 with the Snapdragon 765 5G CPU that helped them make the Pixel 5 more affordable and reach more people. In fact, they have similar plans for this year's Pixel 6 as well, where they will be ditching Qualcomm altogether in favor of their own chip. The chip named Whitechapel will be manufactured on Samsung's 5nm manufacturing process, so Samsung and Google are finally behaving as friends, and it does make sense as these are two of the most powerful companies in the Android world and can benefit from each other. This rumor also falls in line with Google CEO Sundar Pichai's statement made during the Q3 2020 earnings call that the company is making deeper investments in hardware. 9to5 Google has revealed that the upcoming Pixel smartphones coming in the fall could be the first to feature the Whitechapel chipset. The chipset is codenamed GS101, with GS might stand for Google Silicon. The rumors about Google working on their own systems on a chip to be used in Pixel phones and Chromebooks, similar to how Apple uses their own chips in the iPhone and Mac, first surfaced in the early 2020. It was also revealed that Google was working on Whitechapel with Samsung, which also happens to make popular Exynos chips that rival Snapdragon processors in the Android space. In the official documents, Whitechapel is used in connection with codename Slider, a reference to which is also found in Google's camera app, so it seems like Slider is a shared platform for the first Whitechapel SoC. It is also directly linked with Samsung, including references to the Exynos, so it seems that Whitechapel is being developed with Samsung Semiconductor's System Large Scale Integration or SLSI division. The first two phones that will be built on this platform are codenamed Raven and Oriole and might be launched side by side this fall. So these may be the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 5a. As I said earlier, the chip will be built on the 5nm platform and come with ARM's octa-core CPUs with 2 Cortex-A78, 2 Cortex-A76 and 4 Cortex-A55s. In terms of the GPU, we might have to face some disappointment as the company will be using ARM's Mali GPU, which we all know aren't as good as the Adreno GPU on the Snapdragon processors. Even Samsung is moving away from Mali GPUs with its next flagship SoC. That being said, it's not that you won't be able to play games with the Mali GPU, it's just that these are not the best GPUs for gaming on smartphones. Now you might be wondering as to why would Google want to build its own SoCs when we already have some pretty good Snapdragon or even some Exynos chips for that matter, and there are two main reasons. First is that having its own SoC would allow Google to optimize its software and hardware to the best possible level, similar to what we see on Apple's iPhone, and the second being that Google can provide better support when the hardware is developed in-house as opposed to using off-the-shelf parts. For example, they might be able to provide software supports for longer than 3 years that they do now, as they have to rely on Qualcomm for driver updates, etc. Moving away from the SoC to the front of the phone, and it seems like the Pixel 6 will have a center punch hole design and bring support for 4K video shooting from the front camera, whereas the 5a might come with a 6.2-inch OLED display with a left punch hole design but might get support for higher refresh rates. We might also get a better rear camera sensor this time, with Google finally moving away from the IMX363 that has been around since the Pixel 2. Even with that sensor, the Pixels capture some of the best photos, so we can only imagine what improvements a better hardware would bring with it. So that's it for this video. Do tell me, what do you think about Google's decision to make their own SoC in the comments. Smash the like button if you like the video and subscribe to the channel for more tech videos. I will see you all in the next one. Till then, bye bye and stay safe.